Hi there and welcome to our GTV preview show for the race meeting at Turffontein on Thursday. 10 races on the card, 11:50 the off time of the opener. It's a juvenile plate for fillies over 1,200 metres. And as always, for race meetings at Turffontein and indeed at the Val, we welcome on the line Alistair Cohen. Alistair, how are you doing?
Yep, good day, Graham. Doing very well, thank you. As we continue along with our day in, day out racing calendar this week, which is really exciting, despite the fact that there are no feature races across the country. We're still trying to finish the season with a bang. It looks like certain championships are done and dusted. Champion Trainer was done and dusted a long time ago. Champion Owner is done and dusted a long time ago. Champion Sire, Champion Breeder, they look like they all sealed. Champion Apprentice looks like it's going to go to Brevin Plykies. We've still got the debates of Champion Jockey, although it's looking increasingly likely that Gavin Larena is going to get the job done over Richard Fourie, with Richard not taking any rides in KZN this week, nor Johannesburg. So it certainly looks like it's heading Larena's way for the second time in his career. But still, we all lead to the big crescendo at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day on Sunday, the 27th of July. For me, my favourite race meeting of the year, because just for pure horseflesh quality, grade ones, wall-to-wall grade ones, doesn't get any better, and the World Pools make it even better.
Yeah, we certainly are looking forward to the season closer. Talking about Gavin Larena, who's well on his way to his second championship, as you heard there from Alistair. This race meeting at Turffontein on the inside track, Thursday the 17th of July. Obviously, as you all know, we record the day before. And Gavin Larena is aboard the favourite in the opener, number 3, Pretty Persuasive, at around 17-10. There are a few that are competitively priced. Number 1, Alpine Jet at 4-1. Number 2, Let's Go Lola, 11-2. 4, Spirit Tricks at 6-1. 6, Anchorage at 5-1, to name but a few. So Pretty Persuasive only had the 2 starts. Caught the eye, went third on debut behind Military Command. That was down in the Western Cape at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Followed that up with an easy win over Tuscan Romance on the 17th of May. What do you make of the first? Not included in the exotics, of course, but nonetheless, we'd like to try and hit the board running.
Absolutely, Graham. I think the first thing for punters to take note of is in the first 2 races, just have a look at scratchings. For example, I'm led to believe, or I know for a fact that Alpine Jet has accepted on Gold Cup Day in the Umkamazi Stakes, and I've been told that her participation on Thursday as a result is unlikely, but at the time of recording, she's not out. Pretty Persuasive, I think, deserves her place at the top of the boards, Graham. The direct winners from that form include Tuscan Romance, who dropped back to a sprint and won, and Skipple, trained by Mike and Matthew de Kock, who won, and then ran no sort of race after that. And there are a few place getters who were midfield behind Pretty Persuasive, have run places and stepped up their game and look like they're not far away from winning. So from that point of view, I think Pretty Persuasive brings some reasonable form lines into the picture. The fact that she started life in Cape Town with an eye on the Cape Slipper, because she was a Cape Racing sales graduate, but everything just came a little bit too quickly. So Johan took the low road, brought her back to Joburg, got her confidence up over 1,400 metres. There were whispers that day that they were a little bit concerned about her over 1,400 metres, that they might have been biting off more than they could chew, but she still won in pretty commanding fashion, beating Tuscan Romance. So to 1,200 metres at her home course, I think that there's a lot in the stall traversing Getrix's favour. I think the stable companion number 4, Spirit Tricks, is worth another go. Obviously not according to plan last time. She was well above herself on race day, and she returned not striding out and blowing, but the fact that she's back on track obviously means that Jan's happy with her shape. But on that run, Anchorage finished in front of her, and Anchorage also finished in front of Let's Go Lola when they met behind 8 Hats. Hopefully she can get out the number 2 box and step forward. I like to believe that from draw 1 she has every opportunity. Candice has been dying to run her on the inside track for a while, and I think the race lies between the 2 horses, numbers 3 and 6.
So there we go, number 3, Pretty Persuasive, clearly the one to beat. Watch for another bold effort from number 6, Anchorage, who's got 3 runs under the belt and finished runner-up on all 3 occasions. Race 2, first leg of the Bipot. Juvenile plate, 1,200 metres, the off-time 12:22. The Bipot is indeed Alistair's bet of choice. Quick look at the market. Number 1, Got the Feeling, now to be ridden by Serena Moodley. That's at 5-1. The deep odds-on favourite as number 3, Top Division. Again, Gavin Larena aboard. Number 6, Gavius Maximus, 15-2. Number 7, Second to None, 7-1. Those are the ones quoted in single figures. But really, Alistair, it's all about number 3, Top Division at 5-10.
I think so too, Graham. He is my banker in the Bipot. The horse he beat last time has won in the form of Bumps Last Ground, won a good race just a week ago. His subsequent effort, he ran second to Lucky Hudalakis' horse, who was returning from a long break, who once ran 3 lengths to Pyro Attack or something ridiculous. So I think top division, the pieces of the puzzle do suit him, and I make him very hard to beat out of a Grade 1 winning mare, Mighty High, who of course was owned by Jared and Lawrence Verners and Bram van Hastings, who retained partnership in this son of Give Me the Green Light, who was named by yours truly, funny enough, but that's not going to make him run any faster. Chatting to Gavin in Cape Town, he thinks that the first half of his card is probably stronger than the second half of his card, so I think that's further impetus behind number 3, top division. But what is interesting here, Graham, even though I bank in top division, I make him a hard horse to beat, and I don't think he will get beaten. I think there are a few useful horses in and around him. Let's see if Alpha World rocks up, because his debut effort, although beaten nearly 6 lengths by Zalatoris, what I saw was a horse that's going to be quite effective going over a mile plus. Big, bulky horse who just, I don't think he fitted within the corners of the Turffontein inside track, especially over 1,200 metres, being gelded. So I can see it as a nice starting point for Alpha World going forward. But he's a horse that I'm going to watch closely going forward, the son of One World. Got the feeling can't be all that bad, because the horse that Shadowfax beat last time was Jan van Goyen. Jan van Goyen's already accepted in the Grade 1, the Premier's Champion Stakes, next Sunday at Hollywoodbets Greyville. So all those form lines are working out really well. He was a surprise winner first time up at the Val, but I don't think he was disgraced second time out. Number 1, got the feeling. And from draw 1 under Sereno Mudley, dangerous, but I don't think good enough to topple top division. And I think number 7, Second to None's also worth a mention. Again, I'm going to fall short of making him a winning chance, but he could be a nice lurker for top 3 on his. The debut run behind Gimme for sure wasn't all that bad, and he can only step forward. But all in all, number 3, top division, very, very hard to beat, but there could be some nice ones in and around him at the finish.
So there we go, top division, the Bipot banker in the opening leg, which goes off at 12.22. And just to mention that number 5, Dragon Heart, is a scratching at the time of recording. Race 3, the first leg of the place accumulator, maiden played 1,450 metres, and the off time is 12.54. A couple of equipment changes. Number 2, Johnny Drama, to race without the blinkers, and number 5, Lord Kelvin, to race with the blinkers, and number 8, Safe Travel, who is your firm favourite at 14-10. That will now be ridden by Raymond Danielson. Number 2, Johnny Dramas at 17-2. Number 1, 7th Fleet at 9-1. Gavin Lorena's mount, number 4, Frère Jacques, is your second choice at 17-2 in a market dominated by numbers 4, Frère Jacques, and 8, Safe Travel. 5, Lord Kelvin on debuts at 7-1. So it looks a match race as far as the betting is concerned. Is that what we can expect in the opening leg of the place accumulator?
That's where I'm heading, Graham. Number 8, Safe Travel, as you mentioned, other ride of Raymond Danielson. I like the 2 starts over 1,000 metres, and I'm led to believe that stepping up in distance is going to suit him to no end. A lot of the family got a trip without any fuss whatsoever. The last start, when a well-beaten third behind Ready Set Fire, who, as I mentioned, once upon a time ran 3 lengths to Fire Attack. Second horse, Bums Last Ground, came out and won. The horse who was beaten 9 lengths and 5th has run 3rd. The horse who was beaten 10 lengths and 6th came out and ran 2nd, albeit in weak races, but the point is at least they were well beaten and still earning a stake check subsequently. And I think that there's a lot of improvement still to come from this 2-year-old, number 8, Safe Travel. So that's the horse that I'm going to lean towards. But Berejak can't be left untie, goes on, also likely to relish this extra distance. Espinoza came out and franked his own form. Nothing else from the form lines ripped up any trees, to be fair, so it's a bit of a topsy-turvy piece of form. Gavin and I'll take Sarad. What worries me a little bit, there was a big drift about him on debut and still ran a solid enough second to suggest that he could follow up and win soon. Off for a while, those are reasons kicking for touch with number 4. But if number 8, Safe Travel, had any chinks in his armour, then number 4 would be the horse that's most likely to pick up the pieces. 1, 7th Fleet ran 4th to Pumpkin Pie last time from a good solid form line as well, so if not in desperate need of the run, 7th Fleet has no reason to believe that he can't feature. In fact, he seems to run run his best races fresh, Graham. On debut behind Drive Like a Master, he took off like a scolded cat in the closing stages and just got touched off in the end. A few more strides, he may have won the race. And again, last time coming back from a mini break, seemed to run a better race, sort of closer to his debut run than anything in between. So maybe stepping out fresh, he's worth including in alternative bets, number 1, 7th Fleet. But in the bar pot, I'm comfortable with numbers 4 and 8, unless there's support for any first timers, of which I haven't heard a word.
So there we go. That's a wrap for race 3 as we move to race 4, first leg of the pick 6 maiden plate fillies and mares, 1,450 metres, the off time 13:26. Raymond Danielson has picked up another nice ride here. Number 1, Winds of Grace, 22-10. Number 2, Rendezvous in Rio is at 5-1. Number 3, Isaiah's Tiara is at 13-2. 11, Winter Wedding is at 9-1. But your favourite, jumping from a wide gate, is number 12, Wise Counsel at 16-10. And again, it's Gavin Larena aboard. We have 2 scratchings, though, to help in the draw department for the favourite. Number 7, Laser Light is out. And, of course, number 9, Merryweather was a recent winner and is thus ineligible. Danielson aboard number 1, Winds of Grace. So, Wise Counsel, obviously the 2 scratchings help a little bit, I guess. Coming in now to sort of draw 8. Wise Counsel deserve to be favourite?
Yes, but I don't like the race too much, Graham, I must be honest. I can't see Wise Counsel running out of the top 3. It doesn't help too much for bipots, but I'm a little bit dicey about her, I must be honest. I thought her first run, where she stayed on very strongly at the Val when they launched Race Coast, and myself, Brandon, Raheel and Dees watched the race in the Gallop TV studio, and we all looked at each other and said, right, the next time Wise Counsel runs, you can have the absolute lot on. But she just never fired up last time. She ran a fair race. She was anything but disgraced, but she never looked like winning. And I know Season's Greetings held in high regard, so we might be shortchanging her a little bit, but I would have liked to have seen more. And although there've only been 3 runners from the form, it's the 3 runners have done 0. So I'm kicking for touch a little bit about the horse that I'm leaning towards as my top choice. I don't think she's past the post, and I do think that she's going to have some challenges, but you can't knock the way that she's running with that said from her 2 starts to date. So Wise Counsel, a tentative top selection. Number 2, Rendezvous in Rio is very interesting, Graham. Stepped up from an 11-month break between run 1 and run 2. Had no right to run like that. I know Rachel Wall won to the exclusion of the others, and in behind there were a lot of battlers, but she followed up and confirmed that run with a very good effort last time behind Tuscan Romance, who again never looked in doubt. She's got no draw yet again. Julius Mariba's back on board for Joey Soma, but Soma said in the winning interview over the weekend, follow my yard, he's got his horses in a good place at the moment. Those who are stepping out, it's not necessarily the Soma way to run them on hard going. He tends to put them away over winter. Certainly from the end of the season, he tends to put them away and kick things off when things warm up and when rains might start to emerge. But Joey's happy with the state of his yard. So from that point of view, I'm throwing in number 2, Rendezvous in Rio. I'd hesitate to write off numbers 1 and 3, even though I haven't got them in the bipod. As far as pick 6 is concerned, I'm more keen on number 3, Isaiah's Tiara, funny enough, than number 1, Winds of Grace. Winds of Grace coming from a break and very mediocre form lines, it has to be said. And even a horse like Leanne's Love, a little bit of outside support for her, and wasn't beaten too far by Rendezvous in Rio when they met behind Tuscan Romance. So I wouldn't make a strong case for Leanne's Love, but I think there's enough of a case to see her step forward and potentially run into the top 4. So, and even number 11, Winter Wedding, Graham, although beaten out of sight on debut, that form line spots up a horse that finished just in front of her. Surprise Party won over the weekend, and the horse who ran 3rd, Midnight Miracle, was also just touched off. So that's a nice piece of form. I'm happy in the bar pot with 2 and 12. If I had to include one other, it would be number 3, but in the pick 6, go as many as I can afford and look for a result, to be honest.
Okay, so there we go. The favourite in the opening leg of the pick 6, number 12, Wise Counsel, appears a little vulnerable as far as Alistair is concerned. The deep draw is not going to help, but do watch how Safe Travel goes in the previous race. That Constellation form might spark up, and of course Wise Counsel debut run was in that same Constellation form line. Race 5 is the first leg of Jackpot 1. It's a maiden plate fillies and mares, 1,800 metres. 2 o'clock is the off time. Number 1, Flight Light, is at 15-2. Number 2, Matiazzo, is at 3-1. 3, Bella Boop Boop, is at 5-1. Note that number 5 passed the baton races without the blinkers. You can take out numbers 6, Cool Reggae, and 8, Future Success. They were early scratchings. Here we have an odds-on favourite. You've guessed it, Gavin Lorena rides. Number 10, Hopscotch, the 2-year-old daughter of William Longsword. She is a 6-runner maiden, but the last 3 runs have been particularly encouraging over a variety of distances from 1,450 metres all the way to 2,000 metres. So, Alistair, this 1,800 metres should be right up her alley.
Yeah, Graham, the more I look at this race, the more I think number 10 Hopscotch is going to be hard to beat. I've got 2 horses in my play. I actually had 3, but now that Future Success is out, we've narrowed that spin down. My 2 horses are 2 and 10, but on closer inspection, on a run through Lava Lamp, Matiazzo got 7 lengths to turn around with Hopscotch. Plus, that was also Hopscotch's best run, and it was the only time that she ventured over further than the middle distance range, which she went 2,000 metres. The draws made it a little bit easier now that they're 2 scratching, so she comes into 8. I think 8-10 is a fair price about this daughter of William Longsword, and if you're brave enough to banker her, then I wouldn't put you off. I've backed her up at number 2, Matiazzo. I think that she probably might have needed her last run behind Lava Lamp. I think she'll run closer, and the inside draw just swayed me towards kicking for touch and including her and doubling the perm rather than bankering Hopscotch, but under no illusions that I think it's going to be hard to topple Gavin Lorena and Fani Bronkhorst here with number 10 on the card.
Hopscotch, the one to be with in race 5. Race 6, maiden plate, another maiden plate, 1,800 metres, 14:35 is the off time. A lot more competitive, it would seem. Number 1, Mizzen Sword, 7-2. Number 2, Santiago's Pride, is 8-1. 3, Heroic Act, 3-1. 5, Royal Miracle, 11-2. And top of the boards is number 10, Sergeant Socrat, at 5-2. Gavin Lorena teaming up with Corne Spes. Now, Alistair, I appreciate this is not a deep race. The average merit rating is 64. Sergeant Socrat 5-2. But he's had 6 starts. His best effort was over 1,400 metres, penultimate outing, went second to Copper Eagle. But his form is nothing to write home about.
Graham, I've left out Sergeant Socrat. The only reason I think he's favourite is because Gavin Lorena takes a ride, and Gavin's down to 55 kilos to ride Sergeant Socrat. He's not doing that for nothing. But when he ran his career best behind Copper Eagle, 1-4, red hot favourite, got turned over on that occasion in the form of Golden Operator. I know there has been a winner, but that was a horse called Tommy Shelby, who won one of the most moderate maidens I've seen in my life. So, yeah, I'm going to sidestep number 10, Sergeant Socrat here, and say I think Gavin's going to have a good day, but he'll have to be really good to get this one into the number 1 box. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are my numbers here, Graham, with, again, no degree of confidence. They all exposed maidens. They've all had their chances. They all obviously pretty average at the end of it all. But I think when push comes to shove, I think that number 1, Mizzen Sword, didn't stay 2,000 metres last time behind In Flame. I think that he's got reasonable enough winning form. Jared Penny's on board for Mark Khan. Santiago's Prize got me totally stumped. I expected so much better last time from the son of Futura when Alamout went on after running in steel shoes and running one reasonable race in steels and one bad race in steels, but I thought with the gin on last time that he'd run better. He didn't. I'm going to give him another go because I'd kick myself if he did feature and turned up. 3, Heroic Act on form to Pioneer Square and In Flame has a few horses held. Gift of Royals banging at the door as well. Brett Webber's got his yard in good form. And number 5, Royal Miracle. On the last run to Lava County wasn't a bad effort. It was a well-beaten 4th. The front 3 forged clear of the rest of the field, but the blinkers come off, which is interesting for me. And yeah, with Wayo mowing with a couple of runners in this, rather that's Waishong mowing, with number 5, Royal Miracle, might be a little brotherly love going on here. But like I said, all exposed maidens, hard to be too confident about any of these, and the unexposed maidens have just done 0 to date, beaten double figures time and time again, so it's a real swirler.
A real swirler, race 6, this maiden plate, 1,800 metres. The advice is to duck for cover. The 7th race is the first leg of Jackpot 2, 10-race program. MR66 handicap over 1,000 metres, off at 15.12. Number 1, Misty Metal, 4-1. The favourite, number 2, Captain Efficient, at 12-10. Piers Stradum in the irons. Number 4, Lonely as a Cloud, 33-10. Number 6, Daring Act. This one has attracted market support. Note that'll race without the cheek pieces, but the blinkers go on. And that's about it as far as changes are concerned and the market. So Daring Act is finding some anti-post support. What do you make of race 7?
I've held this race to 2 horses, Graham, funny enough. Captain Efficient, I think, with Stradum on, is going to be a huge chance. The running style, the way that he stays on, ratings come down another point. Consistency at this level, never runs a bad race. 3rd run after a mini break, to be fair. But I think that there's enough to like about number 2, Captain Efficient, to make a good case for him. He's been on the inside track once before, which is interesting, and he didn't feature. That was a long time ago, but I don't think it's fair to judge him. But I think number 4, Lonely as a Cloud, set up to run a nice race as well. Rating came down 3 pounds from his last start, when he was fairly well beaten. It was never dangerous behind Constellation, but he's never really had the rub of the green, the son of What a Winter. His penultimate start over 1,200 metres, completely ignore. He won't be running over 1,200 metres anytime soon. Out and out 1,000-metre horse. He is obviously no great shakes, but optimistic that at this level he could rack up a win or two. So don't leave him out of the play. 2 and 4 there, the horses I'm going to hold the race to. Misty Metal won a weak work riders last time out. Has to shoulder top weight. Won't be easy for her taking on male opposition. Daring Act I do actually respect. Been on my radar for a while in Durban. First run for the new stable. Don't leave him out of the pick 6, but in the Bipot I'm comfortable with 2 and 4.
So there we go, 2 and 4 for the Bipot, but take note of the support for number 6, Daring Act. Race 8 is the first leg of the final pick 3. It's a FM 100 divided handicap, fillies and mares over 1,600 metres. Number 1, Francine, is at 9-2. Number 2, Miss Hannigan. No jockey declared at the time of recording, but Samanga Kumalo will miss his engagement there. Number 3, Queen of Love, again Piers Stradum, 6-1. 5, Fatal Gem. Interesting runner for me, makes her debut on the Highveld, and we've seen so many of these horses debuting on the Highveld for James Crawford, running big races first up. Number 6, It's So Way, is at 9-2. Number 7, Kiss Houghton, is at 5-1. 10, Hong Kong, 6-1. As the betting suggests, it's very competitive, 9-2 the field, but I'm going to lead Alistair with number 5, Fatal Gem. Any word on the ground as to how she's doing?
So word on the ground is no. I actually travelled back to Joburg with James Crawford on Tuesday night after racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. And I should have asked him, because to be fair, when I saw this horse accepting in Joburg, I turned around to a couple of guys in the office and said, there's an absolute good thing. I really like her a lot. We have not compared notes. Callum Murray takes her out for James. The last run in the East Coast Cup, direct winners include Escapologist, Tamiris, and the Tote Oaks winner, She's a Bomber, came out of that form line and won 2. As you mentioned, the line of form, and I put that in inverted commas, the line of form of horses travelling to James's half-out yard and cracking a win off the bat are alarmingly good statistics. She's got form to Red Palace, who I think would make mincemeat of this opposition, I know, in receipt of a lot of weight, and she's got form to Rainbow Lorikeet, who was not disgraced in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville in July. I think a mile's pretty much a happy place. Her record over this distance reads 6 starts, 2 wins in 3 seconds. She could be the play of the day for me, Graham. I mean, I respect Francine. I respect Ms. Hannigan, especially on the inside track. Deep draw won't do her too many favours. It's her ways in the swing of things. Hong Kong, I think, is under-delivered, but off a lightweight could be dangerous enough and just expect better. But all in all, I think the company Fatal Gem is kept, and the form line that she brings into the picture, very hard horse to beat for me.
I tend to agree, Alistair. When jotting down the betting, I thought, okay, come, let's have an early bet just in case she shortens dramatically. Of course, we don't know how she's travelled, we don't know her current well-being, but certainly the record that James Crawford has with the horses moving from the Western Cape into the Highveld base at Summerveld, they've got a huge strike rate. So I'm taking my chances as well with number 5, Fatal Gem. But watch her go to the start and monitor the betting, because if she's fancied, I would expect her to shorten from her current odds. Ninth race, first leg of the final double. Fillies and Mares 80 divided handicap over 1,600 metres. 20 past 4 is the off time. Number 1, Azaleas for all 3-1. Number 2, Streisand 11-2. Number 3, Play with Fire 6-1. Number 4, Anne with an E is at 9-2. And number 11, Patches of Grey, is at 9-1. So again, a very trappy contest. It's a divided handicap, Fillies and Mares, 1,600 metres. And it's open. Alistair, what do you make of the race?
I think again, bookmakers are pricing up jockeys. Gavin Lorena on the favour in the form of Azaleas for all, although she won't disgrace herself because she never does. She's at her best over 2,000 metres, over a mile. She might just get caught for time and make up ground a little bit too late. But yeah, she can get into the top 3 because that's generally the rule of thumb for her. I think there's a bit of value about number 2, Streisand here, Graham. Last time she took on male opposition, she was not disgraced by any stretch of the imagination, beaten 2 1/4 lengths by Richard I. I know that she won an average race over this course and distance on the 27th of April, but that was the last time she ran over this course and distance, and she has a good record over the track and trip as well. Inside track mile, she sets herself up nicely with 3 runs and 2 wins. She travelled to Hollywoodbets Scottsville. That is at her penultimate start. I know as a travel companion for Charming Cheetah, who ran second in the Grade 1. A good effort behind One Smart Cookie, who was really in the form of her life back then. And I think that she's the one that I'm going to focus on when it comes to the final leg of the Pick 6. A litany of chances in behind. I've got a serious vendetta with this horse Quantum, who just teases me. Her ratings come down. She's drawn 1. She's completely lacking confidence, but one of these days she's going to pop up. I wouldn't leave her out of my Pick 6, although I am running out of patience with her. Probably the day I run out of patience will be the day that she gets into the number 1 box. And even a horse like Devilishly Gorgeous off a very light weight, I think he's got enough form lines and a couple of weight turnarounds to make her some sort of chance. So Streisand, the key horse in the race without a shadow of doubt, Graham, but looking past her, it becomes wildly open and dangerously open as well.
So there we go. That's a wrap for race 9 as we go to the 10th and final last leg of Jackpot 2. Remember, Jackpot 2 opens with race 7. This race, an MR72 handicap over 1,450 metres, goes at 5 o'clock. Number 1, Phil the Fluter, who won his maiden last time out in a work riders race, tops the boards at 16-10, is drawn in pole position, and again gets the services of Gavin Lorena the first time he's getting aboard. Number 1, Phil the Fluter. Number 2, Apache Chief, is at 5-1. Number 3, In the Ether, is a scratching. Number 5, Labecchio, 7-1. 8, Commander of All, is at 7-2. Number 11, Can't Catch Me, is at 6-1, and number 12, Twice as Wild, is a scratching. Now, Alistair, I appreciate this is a low-level handicap. I appreciate that at least number 1, Phil the Fluter, brings in consistent form and is probably well suited to 1,450 metres. But at 16-10, is he a lay or a play?
No, he's a lay for me, Graham. I must be honest, I don't have any opinion on this race, but I'm paid to do so in these previews. So I formed one, but I do think Phil the Flute is too short on the market, despite draw 1, despite winning last time, despite being consistent. I think Apache Chief could be the right one, Graham. If just looking past the last run, behind Pumpkin Power, we had valid excuses carried out and found to be blowing after the race. From that form, Aladdin's Lamp has come out and won. Gimme the Good Life has come out and won. Tantamar has come out and won. Pumpkin Power's run to the likes of Schwarzenegger and Legend of Arthur and horses like that. Pocket Watchers run places, etc., etc. Guerrilla Warfare, who was well beaten, in fact finished behind Apache Chief, has come out and run a place as well. So overall, it's a cracking piece of form, and that was at a level stronger than what Apache Chief faces here. Form to immediate edge, a length and a half to immediate edge, that's got to set him up nicely, using Fatal Flaws argument of a horse that came up from Cape Town to Joburg and kept form. I think it's unfair to judge him on one bad run, and I think if he's in shape and runs more like the consistent yet frustrating Apache Chief, then he has a winning chance. I think number 8, Commander of All, deserves a mention. Fair form without getting overly excited about him. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where we leave the race, to be honest, because I think if you get too involved, you might set yourself up for getting a headache.
Well, you can always take some medication for the headache. Just to further strengthen your claims about number 2, Apache Chief, obviously the average merit rating of his last run was 78, where he fluffed his lines. He's back down 15 points into a race with an average merit rating of 63. But as you say, we'll leave it there. The race 10 is ripe for an upset. Perhaps Phil the Fluter will be somewhat easier to back as race time approaches, but keep an eye on Apache Chief. Now, the Bipot is Alistair's bet of choice, so take us through it, Alistair.
Okay, so let's do that. Of course, it starts in race number 2, an early start due to the fact that there are 10 races. So the Bipot starts at the obscure time of 12:22. Banker 3 top division in the first leg by 4 and 8, Ferrer Jacques and Safe Travel. By 2 and 12, Rendezvous in Rio and Wise Counsel. 2 and 10, Matziazzo and Hopscotch. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, Mizzen Sword, Santiago's Pride, Heroic Act, Gift of Royal and Royal Miracle. And the final leg, 2 and 4, Captain Efficient and Lonely as a Cloud.
Okay, so that's Alistair's Bipot. Did initially include number 8, Future Success, in the 4th leg, but that obviously is now scratching, so we're rowing in with 2 and 10. Thanks for your time, Alistair. Hope it all pans out the way you see it at Turffontein tomorrow.
Yep, thanks so much.
Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen. Thanks for joining us. Trust you have a good day's racing at Turffontein, Thursday the 17th of July, racing on the inside track.